from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Bringing you the news from Sri Lanka and across the world, it's your national news broadcast on Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. My name is Siobhan Pereira.
And I'm Kasuni Balachandra Adhikari. We start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
A high probability of the El Nino condition turning into a severe one by the end of the year. The Department of Irrigation requests to use water sparingly since water capacity in most of the reservoirs has decreased. The 22nd Constitutional Amendment Bill to the Parliament tomorrow. 4 managers of 4 private banks remanded regarding an incident of siphoning about $1 billion illegally from the country. The President instructs officials to establish a national center consolidating all research and development centers of the security sector. Direct flights between Sri Lanka and Vietnam commenced. A technical collaboration Shramadana in 33 hospitals island-wide led by the Clean Sri Lanka program. Russia and Ukraine exchange colossal attacks at each other's capitals.
Now for your top story tonight, the probability of the present El Nino condition turning into a severe El Nino by the end of this year has gone up to 90%.
According to the Department of Meteorology, that was, and the department also has stated that a strong El Nino condition is expected this year, which will be more effective than the El Nino condition prevailed during 75 years ago. Meanwhile, the Met Department added that the warm weather indicator will remain at a higher level, demanding attention during the daytime in certain areas in Vaunia, Mullaitivu, Trincomalee, Polonnaruwa, Batticaloa, Ampara and Munragala districts tomorrow. Director General of the Department of Meteorology, Ajit Vijayamala, stated that the El Nino condition was gradually developing towards the end of the year. He mentioned that global forecasts indicated a greater than 90% probability of it becoming a very strong El Nino. He added that when comparing this year's El Nino condition to the El Nino events that had occurred over the past 75 years, from 1950 up to that point, there was nearly an 80% probability that it would be significantly stronger than past events. The Director General further noted that in areas such as the northern, north central and eastern provinces, as well as the Munragala and Hambantota districts, the heat index felt by people was at a high level. The Department of Irrigation emphasizes the necessity to use water sparingly by everyone in order to minimize the danger which might arise in case of a water crisis, since the water capacity has drastically decreased in a large number of reservoirs these days. Director Water Management of the Department of Irrigation, Engineer HMPSD Herat, said that the water capacity currently available in the 73 major reservoirs managed by the Department of Irrigation stood at approximately 37%. He expected the existing water volume to be sufficient for the current Yala cultivation season and anticipated that it would also adequately meet drinking water needs in areas supplied by major reservoirs until the monsoon rains arrived in November and December. However, he noted that a minimum level of water was being observed in the Ampara, Batticaloa and Trincomalee districts. Chairman of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board stated that steps will be taken to distribute water through bowsers in case a crisis is arisen regarding the supply of water. Chairman of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board, Engineer Chandana Bandara, pointed out that water supply was being carried out at 100% maximum capacity across all water treatment plants nationwide. He added that despite the dry weather in various districts, water supply had not been reduced anywhere. He explained that in addition to surface water, steps were being taken to extract a higher volume of groundwater, with more tube wells being constructed and the groundwater section being strengthened. The chairman also mentioned that the Department of Agriculture and the Water Management Centre were working to bring forward the Maha-season cultivation activities so that a large volume and capacity of water could be retained in reservoirs from the expected November-December rains.
Severe dry weather affecting Europe has caused water levels in major rivers to drop rapidly. Now, according to the Global Drought Observatory, this situation has become severe in Central and Western Europe.
Major rivers such as Loire in France, the Rhine in Germany, the Po in Italy and the Danube in Eastern Europe are recording the lowest water levels in history. Analyzing satellite images, scientists point out that the shape of waterways has even changed with the emergence of riverbeds and sandbanks. Farmlands and forests near the Loire and Garonne rivers in France have completely dried up. It is stated that due to rising temperatures, authorities have had to intervene abnormally to manage water levels. Meanwhile, the drop in water levels in the Cuybe region in Rhine River in Germany has forced a complete suspension of major shipping traffic. This has severely impacted freight transport as well as tourism sector. It is reported that the drop in water levels in the Danube River, which flows through Hungary and Romania in Eastern Europe, has hampered agriculture and power generation. In addition, dry weather has severely affected the United Kingdom. In July, the country received low rainfall. As a result, more than 71% of England's land area, including London, is facing drought conditions. European weather observation centres say intense heat and dry weather conditions will continue over the coming weeks.
Now, the 22nd Amendment draft bill of the Constitution in extending retirement age of judges will be presented to the Parliament tomorrow by Minister of Justice Attorney at Law Harshana Nanayakara. The 22nd Amendment draft bill of the Constitution in extending retirement age of judges was notified in a gazette on the 7th of this month. Upon presenting the draft bill to the Parliament, a period of 14 days is available according to the Constitution to challenge it before the Supreme Court. Following the hearing of the relevant petitions, the Supreme Court will inform its decision to the Parliament within a period between 3 to 21 days.
In some alarming news, the Criminal Investigation Department has arrested 4 managers from 4 private banks in connection with a probe into a massive foreign currency transfer amounting to $1 billion. After producing before courts, they were ordered to be remanded until the 20th of this month.
The 4 suspects were taken into custody by the Financial Crimes Division of the CID. The magistrate issued the order considering the facts presented by the State Counsel Oswald Pereira, who appeared for the FCID. Defendants of the case relating to the Easter Sunday attack commenced presenting their defense before a 3-member Colombo High Court bench today. The case has been filed against them on more than 23,000 charges, including allegations of conspiring in connection with the Easter Sunday terrorist attacks. The trial is being heard by High Court judges Navaratna Marasinghe, Ramanathan Kannan and Sujivani Sankar. A total of 24 defendants have been named in the case, all of whom are currently being held in remand custody. A case filed against former parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra and several other female defendants over allegations of obstructing roads and interfering with police duties during an International Women's Day event in 2022 has been scheduled to be called again on the 2nd of November. The case was taken up today before Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanka S. Bodragama.
A passenger ferry vessel capsized yesterday close to Nagadepe while travelling from Kurikattuan jetty in Jaffna to the Delft Island. Sri Lanka Navy says that the 10 passengers on board were rescued without any harm.
There were 8 males and 2 females on board the vessel at the time of the accident. The Navy officials had launched instant operation with the help of residents in Delft Island to rescue the passengers. They had been admitted to the Nainithu hospital for treatment. According to the Navy, the group had travelled on the boat disregarding the warning notices regarding the naval journeys. Meanwhile, the Dora fast-moving craft which capsized at the Angulana Sea area was rescued and brought to the Colombo port yesterday. 11 mariners out of the 12 who were on board were rescued and operations are still underway to trace the missing officer.
President Anura Kumara Dissanayake states that efficiency and productivity can be enhanced by establishing a national centre that integrates all research and development centres operating under the Army, Air Force and the Navy. Now, the President made these remarks while attending the 2027 pre-budget discussion regarding the Ministry of Defence held at the Presidential Secretariat. During the meeting, extensive discussions were held on the need for the defence forces to rapidly integrate with modern technology and utilise advanced technical equipment to strengthen national security and overcome current global challenges. Attention was also directed towards increasing fund allocated for foreign training opportunities to improve the professional skills and knowledge acquisition of defence force members. Additionally, operational activities at the General Sir John Kotalawala Defence University Hospital as well as the commencement commencement of operations at the Neville Fernando Hospital, along with the allocation of necessary funds and future plans for these institutions were discussed. Furthermore, focus was given to a program designed to encourage the labour contribution of defence personnel engaged in the construction sector.
The Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe says now is a good time to invest in Sri Lanka, citing improving economic stability and positive developments in the country. Speaking to Bloomberg, the governor said Sri Lanka's macroeconomic stability, declining inflation and stabilizing rupee have created a strong foundation for future economic growth.
We had June 6.8%, July was 7.3%, 5%-ish is the target. Do you think policy is restrictive enough at this point?
Tightening, in our view, was very proactive and good enough measure. That's why last time we did not revise the interest rate in the last cycle. But we are very closely monitoring the situation. Our prediction says it's gone down 5%, so that I think we think we have sufficient tightening. We also see, as a result, credit growth is now slowing down, and also currency is now fairly stable and gradually appreciating from the pressure we had in April and May as a result of very high oil imports. And as a result, now we are seeing a stabilizing situation as a result of partly the monetary policy measures that we had in May, and also some of the measures brought in by the government to curtail certain imports. For example, motor vehicle import, they have a surcharge imposed, and they have loan-to-value ratios are imposed by the central bank as a macroprudential measure. Now those policies are now working, as we can see now.
What's your message to investors here? Why should they be putting money into Sri Lanka?
I think when you look at the situation now, clearly after the crisis, economy is recovering nicely. Around 5% is a very good growth. And going forward also, the uncertainty and vulnerability that we saw, we have been able to manage the Middle East situation. And also we had the internal the cyclone had an impact, small impact. With all this kind of external shocks, we have been able to manage the situation well. So going forward now, it is a good time. The economy is recovering and now moving to high growth path. So for anyone to benefit for the future steady growth that we are seeing over the last 3 years and next couple of years, this is a time for anyone to come to Sri Lanka, and with currency stable and there's reasonable prudent macro policy, even fiscal policy much more prudence now. As a result, the private sector growth backed by private investors are now, we can see realization. There's time for Sri Lanka, anyone to invest in Sri Lanka now.
The Miss World 2026 contestants have been exploring Vietnam ahead of the international beauty pageant, which is scheduled to be held on September 5th. Sri Lanka is represented at this year's competition by Pratibali and Arachi, and as part of the contestants' activities, they visited Hai Phong, experiencing Vietnam's natural environment and cultural traditions.
The contestants visited the Do Sung mangrove forest in Hai Phong, where they explored the wetlands along a broad walk and planted more than 200 mangrove trees. The activity highlighted the importance of environmental protection while giving the contestants an opportunity to experience Vietnam's natural beauty. They also took part in painting traditional Vietnamese colonial hats, gaining a closer look at the country's cultural heritage.
People here are some of the most respectful and kind people I've ever met.
Be alongside my over 100 delegates from all across the world. It's something that's really extraordinary, and I'm blessed to live this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
The contestants have also been sharing their experiences across social media, giving international audiences a glimpse of Hai Phong's natural beauty and Vietnamese culture. The 73rd Miss World pageant will be held in Vietnam on September 5th, with contestants from around the world competing for the crown.
More stories on the other side of this break.
Life is always a treat with Prima Treats.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Welcome back, and in more local stories, marking a long-awaited necessity between the two countries, direct flights between Sri Lanka and Vietnam commenced yesterday. In line with it, the first flight arrived at the Bandar Naik International Airport last night from Vietnam.
The Airbus A320 flight was welcomed with traditional water salute at the airport. The flight carrying 164 passengers from Ho Chi Minh City arrived in the country and left Bandar Naik International Airport with 172 passengers. This is a major strategic milestone for both nations, eliminating the need for layovers in secondary regional transit hubs and also enhance the flow of tourists from both the countries. It will also dramatically shift bilateral relations across economic, social and logistical dimensions. The direct flight will operate on Sunday, Wednesday and Friday between Vietnam and Katunaika. The flight takes a duration of 4 hours and 30 minutes.
Indonesia today proudly celebrates its 81st Independence Day. Having gained independence from Dutch colonial rule in 1945, Indonesia is holding its independence ceremony while remembering its proud past.
National leaders Sukarno and Muhammad Hatta presented the proclamation of independence, liberating the country from over 300 years of Dutch rule. Today, Indonesia has become a powerful economic nation in the world.
This man has been accused
Under the government of current Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto, a special national program is being implemented for energy and food security. Furthermore, greater attention has been focused on enhancing national health and education sectors, while priority has also been given to an independent foreign policy and modernizing the defense forces. Indonesia's 81st National Independence Day state ceremony, held under the patronage of President Prabowo Subianto, was conducted at the Merdeka Palace premises in Jakarta. The main ceremony commenced with a gun salute. Under the leadership of the President, the historic proclamation of independence was publicly declared, and the national flag was raised amidst Triforce's Guard of Honor, Air Force flypads and a national parade. Meanwhile, the 81st Independence Day celebration was also held at the Indonesian Embassy in Colombo under the leadership of the Indonesian Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Her Excellency Dewi Gustina Tobin. The ceremony held amidst the hoisting of the national flag, singing of the national anthem and multi-religious prayers was attended by embassy officials and numerous diplomats. Ambassador Tobin delivered her official Independence Day address, recalling the historical ties between Indonesia and Sri Lanka while expressing gratitude for the ongoing friendship between both nations.
As we celebrate Indonesia's independence, let us remember that 17th of August 1945 was not the end of our struggle, but the beginning of a long journey to defend our independence and gain international recognition. Indonesia's struggle was supported by the solidarity of fellow nations in Asia and Africa. The Colombo Conference in 1954 and the historic Asia-African Conference in Bandung in 1955 reflected our shared commitment to freedom, sovereignty, equality, and opposition to colonialism. Sri Lanka was an important partner in this historic journey. Our shared history and common commitment to peace and independence have provided a strong foundation for the close friendship between Indonesia and Sri Lanka.
The event featured the traditional cutting of the tumpeng, a ceremonial corn of yellow rice where the ambassador presented symbolic first servings to the distinguished guests, including Buddhist clergy. Celebrations concluded on a joyous note with a cake-cutting ceremony and joint musical performance by the embassy personnel and guests, highlighting the spirit of togetherness within the Indonesian community in Sri Lanka.
Now, a technical cooperation from Adana program has been initiated in 33 hospitals island-wide on the occasion of the 31st anniversary of Sri Lanka Vocational Training Authority. This has been implemented jointly by Clean Sri Lanka program of the Presidential Secretariat. The main program was held at the Castle Street Hospital for Women in Colombo. The program is being implemented under the active contribution and voluntary guidance of the vocational student community of the Gen Z generation. Through this Shramadana program, technical repairs, maintenance of electrical and piped water systems, infrastructure facilities development and environmental cleanliness will be carried out. In a special feature, the young generation is practically employing the electronic power, pipe, water, building maintenance, mechanical and technical knowledge they're studying to strengthen the public health system of the country. This is being implemented with the Clean Sri Lanka concept, including environmental cleanliness, positive change in attitude and safeguarding state property. Deputy Minister Nalin Hevage and a number of other officials were present on the occasion. A number of maintenance work commenced today, including the piped water system of Horana District Hospital, with the participation of more than 300 persons, including students of Horana Vocational Training Centre, Kaluthara. Various government field officials and officials of the Clean Sri Lanka program also joined. Another program to clean the Hingaragoda Base Hospital in Polonnaruwa district was also conducted today, with the participation of the students of Sri Lanka Vocational Training Authority in Polonnaruwa. Kantale Sri Lanka Vocational Training Authority participated in the cleaning program of the Kantale Base Hospital, which commenced today. More than 200 persons of the staff and students joined the program. Repairing of dilapidated beds, wheelchairs and other equipment along with the cleaning of hospital premises was carried out at Kahavatta Base Hospital, Ratnapura, in another Shramadana program held today. More than 120 students undergoing training in 10 institutions of the Vocational Training Authority in Ratnapura district participated in it. The Board of Investment of Sri Lanka and Tilco Blue Ocean Holdings Private Limited have signed an agreement for the Yal Royal Palace project, marking a significant milestone in the country's investment sector. The estimated value of this investment is $3.52 million. The Yal Royal Palace project is set to become the tallest residential building complex in the northern province. This landmark development project is also expected to set a new standard for urban living in the northern region. Located at number 107 Candy Road, Jaffna, it is being constructed facing the historic Old Park. The BOI states that this project represents a substantial contribution by the private sector towards the continuous economic and urban development of Jaffna and the entire northern province. The development features 6 parking floors, 13 residential floors and 78 modern residential units. Now, the first Kumbal Perahara of the historic Kandy Asala Perahara festival will parade streets tomorrow night.
Now, the 4 Mahadeval internal Perahara, which commenced on the 13th of this month, will be over by today. The cup planting ceremony of the Asala Perahara festival was conducted at Natha, Vishnu Katragama and Pattini Devalayas on the 13th of this month. The internal Peraharas will be held for 5 days, then onwards at the 4 Mahadevalayas and will end today. All arrangements are in place for the first Kumbal Perahara tomorrow, and the first Randoli Perahara is expected to parade the streets on the 23rd of August. The water cutting ceremony will be held on the 28th of this month. Police said that a special security program is in operation this year also for the Kandy Asala Perahara festival.
Now, the annual festival of the historic Nallur Kandasamy Kovil in Jaffna commenced today with the hoisting of the flag post. Nallur festival can be described as an important religious occasion demonstrating the cultural heritage and the spiritual unity of the Tamil community. Special puja were conducted since the morning today, and after the Vasanta Shala puja, hoisting of the flag was conducted according to the tradition amidst chanting of Vedic mantras and the sound of drums around 10 a.m. today. Thousands of devotees participated on this occasion, while the festival, which commenced today, will be held throughout 25 days. Radhotsave will be held on the 9th of September and the water cutting ceremony will be held on the 10th of September. A special security program and a traffic plan has also been implemented around the Kovil area on the occasion of the festival. Jaffna Municipal Council and Hindu voluntary organizations are contributing towards this festival. Compared to the past occasions, a large number of foreign devotees were seen performing puja during this year's festival.
The Colombo Stock Exchange ended today's trading positively. The all-share price index closed at 21,616.88 after rising by 18.82 points, which represents a 0.31 percentile change. The S&P SL20 index closed at 6,084.54, down by 6.29 points and 0.03%. Total market capitalization at the close of trading stood at 7.837 trillion rupees, and the market turnover for the day amounted to 1.89 billion rupees, with 45.51 million shares trading hands.
Foreign news on the other side of this break. And in international stories this evening, Russia and Ukraine have reportedly launched massive missile and drone attacks targeting each other's capital cities.
Meanwhile, a missile attack launched by Ukraine on the Belgorod region in western Russia killed 6 people and injured 4 others.
The Russian military claims to have destroyed more than 800 Ukrainian drones Saturday night and Sunday morning. The mayor of Moscow stated that 201 drones were destroyed in the Moscow region. The governor of Moscow says that a massive fire broke out at a warehouse belonging to Russia's largest e-commerce company due to drone attack. Ballistic missile and drone attacks launched by Russia until Sunday morning killed 2 people and injured another in Ukraine's Zaporizhia region. Attacks targeting the capital Kyiv caused fires in several locations, with reports indicating at least 3 people. Facing a shortage of air defense missiles, Ukraine is appealing to other nations for assistance to strengthen its air defense systems.
Lives are at risk and a way of life is under threat. Dan Johnson.
By the lake. Ukraine's new...
And in your sports news tonight, today is the 3rd day of the first test match between Sri Lanka and India.
Sri Lanka were all out in their first innings for 284 runs in reply to the Indian first inning total of 462 runs. The match is being played at the Galle International Cricket Stadium. At the commencement of play today, India were 460 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in their first innings. The Indian total was restricted to 462 runs with the addition of another 2 runs to the scoreboard. Nishan Madhushka and Lahiru Udara opened the first innings for Sri Lanka when Nishan Madhushka was out for a duck with no score on the board. Dinesh Chandimal could manage only 5 runs. The first 5 wickets in the Sri Lankan innings fell within 90 runs. Later, a valuable partnership of 146 runs for the 6th wicket was built by Niroshan Dickwella and Sonal Dinusha. In a stellar innings, Niroshan Dickwella scored 80 runs, completing his 23rd half-century of his career. Sonal Dinusha notched the first ton of his test career as well, which included 4 boundaries and 2 sixes. Sri Lankan innings was restricted to 284 runs. In bowling, Manav Sutar captured 4 wickets while Ravindra Jadeja claimed 3 scalps. Sri Lanka is trailing behind India by 178 runs.
Now, Sri Lanka netball team, who won the 3rd place of the 14th Asia Cup netball tournament, arrived in the island last night. The tournament was held in Hong Kong. This is the first time Sri Lanka was not qualified for the finals of the Asia Cup netball tournament after 2009. Sri Lanka compete with Malaysia to secure the 3rd place of the tournament and managed to win the game 65 to 60 points. Since Sri Lanka did not qualify for the finals this year, it lost the opportunity to participate in the World Cup netball tournament next year. Now, the Colombo Marathon Race 2026 will commence on the 13th of next month.
The national television is the official media sponsor for this event. Athlete Amasha De Silva stated that the Colombo Marathon 2026 was a major opportunity to showcase Sri Lanka to the world. She mentioned that it was not just any ordinary marathon, but a national mission aimed at boosting Sri Lanka's tourism industry, displaying the country's beauty to the entire world and bringing people together for a healthier nation. She added that on that day, everyone should be running for the future of the country. Finally, she stated that she was ready to join the country on September 13th and invited everyone else to join in as well.
Six a.m. live and exclusive on Channel I.
Well, that was a look at your news here at Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I'm Siobhan Pereira together with Kasuni Balachandra Adhikari. Wish you a pleasant evening.